Has Mercedes turned its back on Lewis Hamilton? Or is the seven-time world champion cracking under pressure? Is Toto Wolff's frustration covering up a deeper issue within the team? The Qatar Grand Prix wasn't just a bad day for Hamilton. It symbolized a tough season that has left fans, commentators, and even the team questioning what's going wrong. What began as a messy race with penalties, mistakes, and frustration ended with an event that shook the F1 world. Hamilton asking to retire the car mid-race. For a driver known for his resilience, it was an unexpected and telling request. Hamilton's race in Qatar started poorly. He began from 6th on the grid, and his launch was unusually slow, dropping him to 9th almost immediately. The pressure grew, and it only got worse from there. He received a false start penalty, followed by an uncharacteristic mistake, and soon after, a speeding violation in the pit lane. Each mistake piled on top of the last, and Hamilton found himself fighting a losing battle. By the time he served his penalties, he was 12th, over 20 seconds behind the points positions, and struggling with a car that wouldn't cooperate. Then came the shocking moment. Hamilton asked to retire the car. For a driver who's built his legacy on fighting through adversity, this was a surprising request. His race engineer, Peter Bonington, immediately shot it down, saying, "No, Lewis, you have to finish the race." The decision was rooted in strategy. Retiring the car would carry a time penalty into the next race in Abu Dhabi, risking Hamilton's final race with the team. But this moment revealed something deeper, growing cracks in the relationship between Hamilton and Mercedes. After the race, Toto Wolff spoke bluntly about the situation, calling the false start and pit lane speeding disasters. At one point, he said it almost didn't make sense to continue, but the decision to not retire the car was strategic. Wolff's explanation was practical, but his tone hinted at frustration, not just with the circumstances, but perhaps with Hamilton himself. It wasn't the first time Wolff had to defend the team's decisions this season, and it likely won't be the last. As the season nears its end, the relationship between driver and team seems more strained, especially with Hamilton's upcoming move to Ferrari overshadowing every decision. Earlier this year, Hamilton shocked the F1 world by announcing he would join Ferrari in 2025. For a driver who had spent over a decade with Mercedes, achieving unparalleled success, the move was seen as a bold new chapter, but also a sign that his time at Mercedes was running out. This decision sparked speculation that the team's priorities had shifted, with George Russell emerging as a steady performer and a potential future champion. Many fans now believe Hamilton is being sidelined. The Mercedes W14 car for 2024 seems poorly suited to Hamilton's aggressive driving style, and the team's struggles to provide a consistently competitive car have added to the tension. Fans are asking, is Hamilton being given equal equipment, or is Mercedes quietly preparing for a post-Hamilton future? Some fans have even speculated that Mercedes might be sabotaging Hamilton to clear the way for Russell. This idea gained traction after an anonymous email from someone claiming to be a Mercedes insider suggested that Hamilton was being intentionally undermined. However, the email was quickly debunked, and Wolff dismissed the rumors as nonsense. "You hide behind a screen, open an account, and write this garbage," he said, visibly annoyed. "Nobody's reading it. It's just a few lunatics talking to themselves." Still, the rumors persist, especially after races like Qatar. How could a driver like Hamilton, with so much experience, make such basic errors? Why does the W14 seem harder for him to handle compared to Russell? While there's no evidence to support the sabotage claims, the perception has taken hold in some parts of the F1 world, adding another layer of tension as Hamilton nears the end of his time with Mercedes. Wolff has repeatedly defended Hamilton's struggles, blaming the car, not the team dynamics. "Lewis has a very particular driving style," Wolff explained. "He's late on the brakes and aggressive into corners, and this car just doesn't work that way." It's not just him. George is feeling it too. But when a car doesn't suit a driver's natural instincts, it's tough to adapt, even for someone as brilliant as Lewis. The W14 has been notoriously inconsistent. One weekend it looks like a podium contender, and the next it's a backmarker. Wolff attributes this to the high sensitivity of the ground effect regulations introduced in 2022. "These cars are so difficult to operate in the right window," Wolff said. "Miss it by a little, and you're in no man's land." For Hamilton, the car's handling has clashed with his aggressive style, particularly with its unpredictable understeering and lack of stability. This has led to a season filled with frustration and uncharacteristic mistakes, culminating in the disaster at Qatar. Hamilton has always thrived on adversity, but 2024 has tested him like never before. From the highs of victories at Silverstone and Spa to the lows of races like Qatar, it's been a season full of contrasts. As he prepares to leave Mercedes, the big question is, Will his final chapter with the team be remembered as a triumphant farewell or as a painful decline? Hamilton himself remains defiant. "The false start, that's on me. The speeding in the pit lane, that's on me too," he said after the Qatar race. "But I'm still here. It's not about how you fall. It's about how you get back up. And I'll be back." But the stakes couldn't be higher as Hamilton heads into his final race with Mercedes in Abu Dhabi. For him, it's all about going out on a high note and reminding everyone why he's one of the greatest drivers of all time. For Mercedes, it's about showing they can make the transition from one era to the next without losing the team-first mentality that made them so dominant. As Hamilton prepares to wear Ferrari red in 2025, all eyes are on his final days with Mercedes. The intrigue continues to captivate the F1 world. The Qatar Grand Prix, with its chaos and controversy, could mark a turning point in Hamilton's career. But whether it's the start of a triumphant farewell or a bitter end remains to be seen. One thing is certain, the Hamilton-Mercedes partnership, which has defined a generation of Formula One, won't end quietly. The questions, the drama, and the tension ensure this story is far from over. As the paddock turns its attention to Abu Dhabi, all eyes will be on Lewis Hamilton, not just fighting for points, but fighting for his legacy.